So, good evening, everybody who have joined this program, and I heartily welcome you. I now take pleasure in introducing our moderator, Mr. Arun. Mr. Arun Vaddi is a film and theatre professional who had studied and worked in the USA and India. He is also an eco-entrepreneur and founder of EcoFi. With an extensive experience of diving all over the world, he specializes in night diving. Arun was a partner in Dive India, based in the Andamans. Dive India is India's premier dive training facility for divers and instructors, respected worldwide. At Ecofel, he works extensively on marine projects that include artificial community reefs, artisanal fishes, repurposing of ocean waste, and ocean awareness programs. He was the chairperson of ESRAG South Asia in 22-23, and he also writes extensively for environmental magazines like Save Us and EcoMag. He has been also appointed to the International Board for RAGES worldwide, that is, Rotary Action Group for Endangered Species. With these few words, I take pleasure in requesting Mr. Arun Vaddi to take over and moderate the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the faith reposed in me to take forward such important and intellectual people on such a session. Uh, having worked, not having worked, having explored a lot on the marine side, I dive mainly in the Indonesia and the Raja Ampat area. uh, there is now a lot of interest in amateurs or in people who are enthusiasts and tourists who want to dive. I think that's a huge base which will form the bottom of a big pyramid from which we can build in terms of education as well as action. Because once some sport or the nature activity gains traction, it tends to blow up, and everybody wants to be associated with it, and there's a lot of information and misinformation. Like somebody will come up to you and tell you, now we have so and so things that were found in the Atlantic that are roaming right now in the Bay of Bengal. There are certain basic things they miss, like any of us who like seriously studied in our school what we were taught knows that container ships and ships use ballasts. Ballasts take in water to go down, push out water to go up. So they could have taken in water in the Atlantic and come to somewhere near the Bay of Bengal, coming to Vizag or to Calcutta and let out the water. And there comes the marine life with it. So it's not a geographic event that has happened naturally, that these things have gone and these living beings have gone and sought, seeked out other areas to live in. It's just human intervention that has brought about such anomalies. And there are various such things. And to understand that truly in the bigger picture and know the science behind it, you need people who are dedicated to studying such events, not people who have an idea and go around finding data to prove their idea right. You need scientists who are actually exploring the current situation to find out what it is. Like they say, an experiment is not a success or a failure. At the end of an experiment, you have knowledge, and that is where everything else you do from then on is based in terms of, like I said, what happens out there, what data you collect, and more importantly, impact analysis of what the situation was, what you were able to do, and what the final result is. So it is one of those rare days of pride for me to be moderating a session like this with a plethora of very accomplished scientists. Thank you.
Yeah.
I leave it to Madhugar to introduce our speakers.
Yeah. The first speaker of the day, Dr. U. Sridhar. He is a doctorate PhD from Acharya Nagarjuna University He is presently the scientist in charge head and principal scientist at Visakhapatnam Research Center of the ICAR, Central Institute of Fisheries Technology. He has a vast experience of 29 years of service in the ICAR CIFT, earlier 4 years in FSI, totaling 33 years of government service. His area of expertise: research focused on long term sustainability of fishery resources, biodiversity protection, environmental safety, energy conservation and fish harvesting, fishery legislation, bycatch reduction, protection of endangered species, fishery enhancement, selective fishing gear and practices, bycatch reduction technologies, and environment friendly fish harvesting systems. Validated and disseminated OCM data generated by IRS P4 disseminated by SAC Ahmedabad and INCOIS. Analyzed raw sea truth data generated at SAC Ahmedabad and INCOIS Hyderabad. Computed time lag for PFZ prediction for demersal sources and tuna advisories for the East Coast. Explored deep water trawl source resources of Indian EEZ beyond 300 meters to 1100 meters and studied biology of deep sea fishing trawl sources. Innovated and created awareness about harvesting systems for northeastern states of India. He has also introduced innovative harvesting methods in inland water bodies. This is only a few, still, he has got many, but it was just brief. Now, his topic over here is the impact of marine pollution on fisheries and coastal livelihoods. Over to you, Dr. Sridhar.
Thank you very much, Madhugaru. Am I audible and clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, all of you. First of all, I would want to thank Rotary for giving me this opportunity to speak. Not many a times we get the opportunity to interact people like Arun who have vast experience in various forms. We are morely into the research meetings and gatherings. And also, I would like to tell you that my presentation is basically modeled for fisheries because I am a fisheries expert and the impact of marine sciences. And I am going to give a general talk and details of what my institution, Central Institute of Fisheries Technology, is doing in this field will be spoken by Dr. Sandhya and Dr. Shravan, who are my colleagues. Uh, so did my slide move?
Yes. Yes, please.
Yeah, as
Yes.
we
Yes,
all
sir.
know,
Yes.
as we all know that 70% of Earth's surface is ocean, and 50% of what we breathe, oxygen, is coming from this area. Over 3 billion people rely on the oceans for their livelihood. Fisheries contribute to the food security for nearly 820 million people. And these are uh, good figures. And what is marine pollution? Marine pollution is nothing but introduction of substances or energy into the ocean that causes harm to both ocean as well as the human beings. So major sources can be land-based and sea-based. Land-based, we have plastic waste, agriculture runoffs, industrial discharges, and sea-based are oil spill, shipping, dumping, abundant fish gear. So plastics, that is 80% of the marine debris is today composed of plastics, then oil, heavy metals, sewage, and microplastics. So what is plastic pollution in these oceans? It is nothing but accumulation of plastic waste, harming the marine life, ecosystems, and human health. What does the global statistics say? The global production of plastic today is around 390.7 million metric tons, and top producers are Asia 51, North America 19, and Europe 16%. And the plastic waste around 460 million tons. In that, recycled are only 9%, incinerated are only 19%, polluting the environment 72%. And then projected production by 2050 would be 1.1 billion tons. That is huge. That is really a huge and a cause of worry for all of us. And why plastic is harmful to the marine atmosphere? First of all, the macroplastics I'm talking about is entanglement with the marine elements getting trapped in the plastic, ingestion, animal mistake plastic for food, causing blockages and malnutrition. Then toxic chemicals, plastic releases harmful substances into the marine food chain. Then habitat damage, like plastic debris disrupts ecosystem like coral reefs. Then microplastics are tiny particles ingested by marine organisms impacting their health and longevity. This persists for centuries, continuously harming the marine life. Then marine pollution is now a global crisis. Over 11 million metric tons of plastic enters the ocean annually. As by 2050, plastic in the ocean would outweigh the fish by biomass. This is a very interesting finding. You can understand by 50, the plastic will overweigh the biomass present in the ocean. And 94% of the plastic waste end up on the sea floor, affecting the benthic organisms and habitats. And how does it impact fisheries? Marine litter damages fishing gear and reduces catch efficiency. Then fish habitats like coral reefs, seagrass beds, mangroves are degraded by pollutants. Then studies show that 30% of decline in fish biomass is heavily polluted, in the heavily polluted coastal zones. Economic losses to global fisheries from marine blasting estimated to be 1.3 billion, billion annually. That's huge. What are the sources? The main sources of plastic pollution can be single-use plastics like bags, straws, then fishing gear, discarded nets and lines in the fishing industry, industrial waste, that is plastic pellets, noodles entering the runway, water runway, then tourism, litter from beaches and coastal activities, then poor waste management, ineffective disposal of leading to ocean pollution, and then textile fibers, microplastic released from synthetic fibers. This is also a concern. Then types of marine plastics, macro plastics, that are larger bottles, bags, and fishing nets. Then it's microplastics, tiny degraded plastic, noodles, small pellets used in the industry, microfibers shed off from the synthetic textiles, foam plastics, styrofoam packaging materials, then film plastic, thin material like wrappers and bags. These are, and then I have given the definition of macro and micro, which you can see here. And this is one slide which shows how plastic is entering in the ocean from the rains and winds, littering streams, downstreams, and how it affects, like, microplastic injection, and then entanglement. Challenges posed by the plastic pollution. What are the challenges we have? Then entanglement ingestion. Ingestion of microplastics by the marine species, which could be fish or seabirds, all depending upon the ocean. Then disruption of marine ecosystems, plastic disturbing the habitat like coral reef, biodiversity loss, then food chain contamination, economic impact, water quality degradation, habitat degradation, the destruction that is damaging the marine environmental like coral reefs, increased waste management cost, higher expenses for disposal and recycling. Then consequences on marine life, what it can have, like physical harm, injuries caused by plastic debris, death by ingestion or entanglement. Then chemical harm, toxic chemicals from plastics like BPA, phthalates are some of the toxic chemicals. Then biochemical accumulation of toxins in the food chains. More of that will be talked by Dr. Madhu after me. And there are, some like bisphenol A, BPA. It is basically endocrine disruptor affecting reproductive health. Then phthalates linked to reproductive issues and hormone disruption. Then brominated diphenyl ethers. They are basically, they cause neurodevelopment deficits. And heavy metals, we all know what heavy metals can cause. They can be highly toxic and cause neurological problems. And microplastics absorb pollutants, leading to toxic effects in marine life. Injury and death, nutritional issues, reproductive harm, behavioral changes, loss of habitat. This can be some of the ill effects of pollution. Now, one of the most important macro plastic pollution is basically ghost gear. Ghost gear is basically basically a silent killer. Abandoned, lost, and discarded fish gear, what is thrown in the ocean, is what is basically known as ghost gear. And 10% of marine litter is today ghost gear, which is available in the ocean already. And 20 to 46% of the plastic of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is fishing related, which causes almost 1 lakh marine mammal death due to entanglement. That's a huge, huge issue. Then fishing basically continues tapping fish, turtles, seabirds, and marine mammals. Habitat damage, smoothers, coral reefs, mangroves, and silipho habitats, and economic loss due to all these cleanup programs and all. Consequences to humans, that is food safety and human health. And this basically Dr. Madhu will be dealing in detail. Socio-economic impacts of marine pollution basically on fisheries. Impact on women in post-harvest, because whatever the contaminated substance or the produce is coming from the sea is basically distributed by the woman. So it basically affects the livelihood. Poor quality fish lowers demand and prices. Then reduced market acceptability. No one is going to accept seafood which is plastic contaminated. And declining of catch and income. All these things really socio-economic point of view affect the fisheries. Policy and action gaps in marine pollution management. What are the gaps today? Let us try to understand. No national marine debris monitoring framework. Many countries lack a standardized system to track and assess marine litter impacts. Then weak enforcement of existing laws. Laws like India's waste management rules in 2006 often face poor implementation and compliance. And low awareness among fishers, limited knowledge on sustainable waste disposal practice increase pollution rate. For this, I would like to mention that from past 1 year, we have been trying to convince the fishermen to give us the data with regarding to the plastics which is coming on the nets. They are least interested. I told them that please bring the plastics. We want to see at what depth, right from 10 meters to they go up to almost 100 meters. So I just wanted to check how much of plastic is really coming in the nets. And we had a discussion with them. We had the discussion along with the Joint Director of Fisheries in Visakhapatnam. But they are only interested in the catches, and they find it very funny when you tell get the plastics. So they find it highly uninteresting. So I had to tell them that what could be the consequences. So we are again planning that now it's a ban season here. We are again planning to have one awareness campaign so that they understand the importance of my study. And fragmented coordination. Everyone knows there is a poor interdepartmental collaboration between fisheries, environment, and pollution control agencies here in India. Solution, international and local initiatives like global efforts are on. As you know that this is in the SDG 14, life water. There are some international treaties like what Arun was saying with regarding to the invasive species. Then national and local initiative bans on single-use plastic. Some of the places are doing that, and beach and ocean cleanups. Even today, as a ocean day, I have gone and cleaned the beaches to the extent we can. Government and policy intervention should be implementation of plastic bag ban and taxes immediately. International agreements and initiatives need to strengthen, and monitoring and enforcement of this regulation is very important. There are some treaties signed, but as you all know that it's not much happening in that. What do we see as a way forward? One is eco-friendly fishing gear, like promote the use of biodegradable nets and gear to reduce long-term plastic pollution in oceans. In this regard, again, my center at Visakhapatnam, we are still trying to make a rope, initially a rope made from sisal with some bioplastics, so that at least the head rope, foot rope, and the anchor rope can be replaced in these fishing nets with a eco-friendly gear. Because when we are talking about trawl net, which is an active gear where it is dragged, inducing a biodegradable net becomes a Herculean task. But still, we are trying our best to see that we come up with some biodegradable solution to the HDP nets which are being used. Then strengthen the marine protected areas MPAs. Expand MPS with clear pollution control mandates and community co-management to protect the critical ecosystems. Then enforce extended producer responsibility, that is EPR. Hold plastic producers accountable for waste management. This is one thing we had a discussion last time also. Arun was saying that how could we stop the producers from producing? Then we can make them accountable for retrieving their products from the marine environment, what are leaching into the atmosphere. Then educating and empowering fishers, that is a very important issue. We have to launch training programs and provide incentive for fishers to adopt sustainable waste disposal and fishing practices. Then support cleanup and blue economy initiatives. This slide basically shows how are the measures based on tourism, fisheries, industrial effluent, agriculture, rivers, urban runoffs, and waste leaks. How are they all interconnected to the ocean and which impact the livelihoods and poverty elevation in our society? As we were discussing, there are some technological solutions which we can have. That is, biodegradable plastic. Then we can have advanced recycling technologies like chemical recycling to recover original materials. Then plastic waste to energy, converting waste to energy through pyrolysis. Then innovative packaging solution, alternate to reduce plastic use in packing. Then waste management technology like smart system for better sorting out and processing. Then ocean cleanup technologies, floating barriers and drones for collecting marine debris. As individual action, what we can do? Reduce, reuse and recycle, we all know. Reduce single-use plastics, choose eco-friendly products, participate in cleanup events, educate others, practice proper recycling, and advocate for change. These are certain things we can do. And role of stakeholders in combating marine pollution. The government can enforce anti-pollution and marine waste management laws, promote sustainable fisheries through policy support, subsidies, and infrastructure, facilitate coordination across the department, and fund marine cleanup initiatives. Fishers and coastal communities can use biodegradable and eco-conscious fishing gear, report and help recover lost and abandoned fishing gear, that is the ghost gear, participate in awareness programs and community cleanup programs. Industry and manufacturers, minimize plastic packing in supply chains, invest in research and development on biodegradable fishing gear and marine safe materials, take responsibility under extended producer responsibility, that is EPR framework. General public, you know, that 3 Rs, recycle, reduce, sorry. I think it stopped sharing.
Your screen sharing is off. Yeah, it's back on now.
Reduce single-use plastic consumption and practice waste segregation, participate in coastal cleanups and advocate for cleaner oceans, support sustainable seafood choices and eco-label products. So now, on a ocean day, I am concluding my talk by saying that marine pollution threatens our oceans, food security, and coastal lives. There's an urgent and integrated action is needed across all levels. And on this World Ocean Day, let's pledge to safeguard our oceans for better generations.
Thank you, Dr. Sridhar.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's
Very
never too late.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very informative session. I'm sure the recording of this particular session of ours today will stand as a reference point and a guide for people interested in this subject to go forward with their activities. I see that there is one hand up. 3 hours zero waste. We will come back to the questions at the end of the session. In the meantime, if you want to post your questions, you can post it in the chat box. Like Dr. Sridhar just said, the plastics in the ocean and the amount of plastic we use in nets, in trawlers and all that. I'm kind of multilingual because I tend to talk to the local fishing communities in their language. In Tamil, I'm Telugu, but in Tamil, they say, "Korangu kaila poomala," which means what do you expect will happen when you give a beautiful garland of flowers in the hands of a monkey? In this case, the beautiful garland of flowers is a plastic, which is a very capable thing, but unfortunately, it's given to us who have evolved from monkeys. So you've gone and messed it around, basically. So, yes, there are a lot of ideas that have come up. Also, for enforcement of this, large trawling vessels are usually registered and their nets are registered. There is an effort to tag the nets with one tag per a certain number of meters. So tomorrow, if somebody were to retrieve a ghost net and it had a tag on it, they will know exactly which vessel it came from, and they can be held accountable and pay up or do something remedial for the damage they've caused. Because when things snag, when you do indiscriminate trawling, they snag on rocks and all kinds of things, and people find it cheaper to just cut it loose and leave it there to kill the rest of the environment rather than retrieve them. This could be one way of going forward on holding people leaving waste out there to be accountable for what they've done. But that's another story altogether. I request Madhu sir to introduce the next speaker, please. You're on mute, Madhu sir.
Yeah, thank you. Dr. B. Madhusudan Rao is a principal scientist, ICAR CIFT Visakhapatnam. He is also working as principal scientist at the Visakhapatnam Research Center of ICAR, Central Institute of Fisheries Technology. He has more than 25 years of research experience, and his areas of research interest includes antimicrobial resistance, alternatives to antibiotics, food safety, and innovative food processing technologies. Dr. Madhu has more than 125 publications in international and national research journals in the fisheries magazines. He made more than 150 presentations in seminars and workshops. He has successfully completed several projects as principal investigator and co investigator. Dr. Madhu is a member of the committees of Food Safety Standards Institute Authority of India, Bureau of Indian Standards, Marine Products Export Development Authority, and Export Inspection Council of India. And he has represented India in ISO, FAO, and Codex meetings. Now, his topic is microplastics in the seas, implication of health and food safety. So, with this, I welcome Dr. Madhusudan Rao garu. The next 10 minutes is yours to speak up. Thank you very much.
Thank, thank you, Madhukar. Are my slides visible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
At
sir.
the outset, I want to thank Rotary Club Visakhapatnam District 3020 and Eco Action Club for inviting me to deliver this talk. Uh, Already, Dr. Sridhar has given a detailed presentation. So I want to focus on only the food safety part. We had two important days consecutively. Today is the World Oceans Day with the theme Wonder, sustaining what sustains us. But yesterday we had one more important day, that's the World Food Safety Day. Food safety science in action was the theme. So this we want to just I want to focus on these food safety aspects of plastic pollution into the seas. So this is a regular slide I show why we need to eat fish. For long, we have seen fish of the seas as the source of food for the humans, mainly the aquatic animals. But again, we have the vegetarian source through the aquatic plants, that is through seaweeds. So, sea definitely it's a wonderful thing which will provide us in the future also the food for through the animals and through the plants. So this is the brief interesting thing. What I wanted to focus is the main plastics which are dominating are the polyethylene, polypropylene, and polystyrene. World over, which we see, these are the main classes where the production is going on, and most of the thing plastic is being used as the wrapping material and in the construction materials. The menace to the sea already Sridhar has already he has shown nearly 10% of whatever plastic we produce, it ends up in aquatic environment, whether it may be the rivers or in the open seas and oceans. 10% ends up there. And 70 to 80% of the plastic which is present in the rivers and seas, the origin is the land. Only 20% comes through the actual marine sources, through the fishing nets, as the ghost nets and some things what Sridhar has shown, through the boats, the lines and ropes. All this contribute to 20 to 30%, but 70 to 80% of all the plastic we see in the oceans is originating in the land. Long back in 1970 itself, researchers have detected plastic in the aquatic animals and in the marine plankton. So, an estimate says that 5.25 trillion plastic particles are floating on the open surface. Forget about the sediment and all, the floating particles, it accounts to 5.25 trillion plastic particles and keeps on adding. And some new sources are coming. Recently, as you all know, we had the listing of the Liberian ship of the Kerala coast. There also few containers. They had these plastic pellets, the noodles. These got spilled. You know, these noodles are basically the raw material for producing the plastic. So this may be in the environment for quite some time. And these are the things which add on to whatever already is there in the seas. So there are different classes of plastics, but our focus is basically globally is on the microplastics, which are ranging in the size of zero point 0.1 to 5 mm in size. You know, whatever the single-use plastics, the bottles or the plastic bags which we throw into the seas, they get torn into small pieces by the physical activity or through chemical activity. They break down into smaller particles or the biological activities, and they break down into smaller and smaller particles. The smaller they become, the more problematic is for the human and the aquatic animal health. The clogging, of course, it's a obvious thing. Bigger plastic particles, if you consume, it clogs the alimentary tract. The microplastics, the problem is it is they are actively ingested by the organisms, and then the nanoparticles, they pass through the different cell membranes and enter into the bloodstreams. So when you see the plastics, we have the two different sources. One is the primary source. This also we'll talk again in the future things when we come to the addressing part. The microbeads. These are specifically we are adding plastic to some cosmetics or toiletries or toothpaste so that they give the abrasive force for the cleaning. Rest everything is to the secondary source. That means we are using the plastic for some other purpose, but it ends up in the seas because of different types of actions. And the problem with these microplastics is they appear, they are buoyant, they'll be floating, and they have different colors, and they're attractive to the fishes. So definitely, the fishes actively forage. They go after these plastics and they consume. And these have been detected in most of the aquatic species like clams, mussel shrimps, even in the marine mammals also, whales also we have seen, and dried fish also. There is a lot of plastic that was reported. And in the sea salt which we prepare using the sea water, there also a lot of plastic has been detected. And this is the effect on the fish health, not on the human health, but it affects the different organs in the fish and leads to different types of tissue damages, affecting their growth and affecting the reproductive behavior. Both gets affected. In the long term, the sustainability of fisheries also will get affected because the fishes themselves are getting affected because of the damages from the microplastics. So, when you say plastic, it is a generalized term, but when you go deep into how the plastic is formed, the plastic monomers, basically we are seeing the polyethylenes, HDPE or LDPE. They are not that much of a significance as far as human health is concerned. Similarly, the PET, polyethylene terephthalate also, not a significant human threat when compared to the other things like the sterins, that is the thermocol and thermoforms, expanded polystyrene compounds. These are having estrogen binding receptors. That means they act like the estrogen hormone, and this leads to some changes in the human body. Similarly, the vinyl chlorides from PVC based compounds. So these are also having the problems relating to cancers and mutations. So these two compounds, styrene and polyvinyl chloride, are comparatively more dangerous compared to the ethylene and terephthalate. Of course, the polymers are generally identified in the labs using Raman spectroscopy or FTIR. These are the methods generally they are used to identify what is a plastic. And apart from the regular plastic monomer, while preparing the plastic, some things are purposefully added to give some benefit to the plastic material. For example, colors. They add different colors, which are basically coming from the metal sources. Then UV stabilized plastic. That means the UV rays from the sun, of course, they make the plastic brittle. So to protect from that, definitely some UV stabilizers are being used. Then they are adding some antioxidants, some filler materials, some flame retardants. If you want to say some plastic is non-flammable, so then they add some flame retardants. And these compounds, they, apart from the regular plastic, these also have some effect on the human health. The composition varies: phthalates, bisphenol A, then we have nonyl phenols. All these compounds are added. They give different additive. As an additive, they give different functionality to the plastic. So these are the ones which are causing more harm than the original plastics. Then the same thing when the plastic breaks down, these chemicals which are added for some purpose to give functional to the plastic, they dissolve, they come out of the plastic and enter into the environment. This is the one which is more harmful compared to the original plastic. Original plastic also is harmful, but apart from that, these are also more harmful. And the release, they have seen that in the human digestive tract, if you on a simulated model when it was studied, then the microplastic release these chemicals 30 times faster in the human intestinal tract compared to the seawater. So this is how the our health gets affected because of the plastic material and because of the additives that have been added to the plastic. So we are only talking about the plastics in the seas, but of course, plastic is there in the air also, which we are inhaling. But we don't want to go into that aspect today. Only the focus is on the plastic which comes through the sea water or through the aquatic animals in the seas. So the generally the plastic when we consume, it goes into our gut, and from there it moves to the pair patches, and then it moves into the different circulatory system and lymphatic system and moves towards the different organs in the body. So, of course, Dr. Sridhar has listed so many of these mitigation strategies, but two or three only I just wanted to focus so that the listeners can definitely focus on these three. One is the prohibiting the use of microbeads in cosmetics. So several countries have banned the use of these microplastics. India also, the Bureau of Indian Standards in 2000 itself, they have classified the microbeads as unsafe for cosmetic production, but it is a voluntary guideline. There is we have not put any definitive timeline when it should be enforced and actually it should be prohibited for use. It is as a voluntary thing. The guideline is there, but as such we don't have the ban. EU from October 2023 they have banned loose glitter and microbeads. That has come into force in October 2023. Then that's the one part regarding the microbeads, which is the primary source. But the secondary sources and the chemicals which are being added as additives to plastics to control them, definitely a lot of research thrust and support to research is needed to develop biodegradable alternatives like the natural colors, biodegradable food wrappings, and additives like the flame retardants. Which we are using right now, we need to have some alternative to this so that it will not cause much harm to the environment as such. Then there is a need for a global action plan on microplastics. Similarly, a national action plan for the different countries also is required to mitigate the microplastics in the aquatic environment. So the Zero Pollution Action Plan of European Union, it says that the volume of microplastic released in the environment should be reduced by 30% by 2030 compared to the 2016 baseline. There is this call for the 30 by 30. That means 30% of world's water bodies, that means inland and coastal and marine water bodies. 30% of these water bodies we need to effectively protect and manage by the year 2030. That is the 30 by 30 call which the entire world is focusing on. Then we need to have this public awareness regarding the issue of these microplastics. But there are some knowledge gaps. We don't know what constitutes the safe level. How much of plastic, if you consume, it causes the illness or harm to the human body and to the ecosystem. How much of plastic? That actually globally there is no such data that needs to be constituted. Then microplastic hazard characterization is really a challenge because different particles. Polyethylene is giving a different type of challenge. Polystyrene will give a different type of challenge, and the additives used give a different type of challenge. The microbes on these plastics they pose a different type of challenge. All these things they need to be addressed. And there is some differences in the values which you see globally because of the methodologies. There is a no such uniform methodology for the studying the micro plastic. This also should be rationalized with a uniform method so that the results will be relevant globally. And that's all with the end because on this Ocean Day, we look forward towards the ocean to provide us with food in the times to come. So that now it's providing, and the future also will be the food will be from the seas only, whether it is through the aquatic animals or through the aquatic plants. It is a today we need to put in our sustainable efforts so that it feeds us sustainably, so that the oceans, if the oceans are healthy, we also remain healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Madhusudan Rao. I always believe that you can save the environment by showing people the beauty of the environment, and they will automatically end up saving the beautiful around them. But then that has to come with a very strong rider, like what you just said. What will happen if you do not? And there's a direct arrow hitting straight at you. Like our elders always said, health, wealth, and happiness. They were not silly when they put health first. Then came wealth and then happiness. Unfortunately, our balance now seems to be tipped towards wealth will give us happiness. Well, that wealth and happiness is not going to be much use if you don't have the health and you're not alive after that. So thank you for a wonderful fact-filled presentation that will be very helpful for us going forward with what we would want to do for the betterment of the ocean in the selfish interest of the betterment of our own lives as well. Madhu Garu, would you please introduce the next?
Yes, yes. Uh, the third speaker, Dr. Sandhya KM, presently working as a senior scientist in the Fishing Technology Division of ICAR, Central Institute of Fisheries Technology, Kochi. Total of 12 years research experience in the field of fishing technology and fisheries resource management. Research mainly focused on technological interventions for fishing gear improvements, testing of uh, testing of properties and developments of standards for fishing gear materials, assessment of ghost fishing, their impacts and the mitigation resource measures. Also a member of BIS sectional committee textile materials for marine fishing purposes TXD 18. Her topic is how fishing related plastics are choking our oceans. Thank you, ma'am. Please take over for the next 5 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the nice introduction. First of all, I would like to thank the coordinators and the chairman for giving me an opportunity to present this on this World Ocean Day. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Presentation is visible, no, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So my topic is the silent crisis: how fishing-related plastics are choking our oceans. As we have heard from all the speakers regarding the plastics, their harmful impacts, everything. Why we are more concerned about plastic? Because it's durable, it lasts forever. That's the main disadvantage of the plastic. That's why we all are worried about, and it takes thousands of years to degrade. Okay. Just 1 minute, sir. What are this fishing related plastic? We are all worried about plastic. Why this fishing related plastics are so much important, especially the plastic fishing gear, all fishing gears, that the nets, lines, buoys, floats, everything. These are made of plastics. Once they end up in ocean, either through accidental loss or intentionally, like fishermen, sometimes they may be throwing the damaged nets into the ocean, or sometimes like some unfavorable weather conditions, so there is no way it will be lost as such. So in that case, these abandoned, lost, or otherwise discarded fishing gear, ALDFG, that is the largest contributor to the sea-based sources of marine plastics, and approximately 2% of millions of metric tons of plastic fishing gear in use worldwide in the ocean is lost annually. So you can imagine how much in the future it may happen, because the number of fishing gears, everything we are using, is going on increasing. So LDFG and other fishing-related plastic is estimated to be over 6.4 million tons. That includes fishing net, line, rods, and traps. And as you know, that increasing the fishing activity, and we are transforming to the modern gears, especially all made of synthetic fibers. Earlier, we used to have fishing gears, nets made of cotton. It takes up to 2 to 3 months only to degrade. But whereas now we are using nylon polyethylene nets, and it takes around 500 to 600 years to degrade. And You all know that ALFG is the deadliest type of plastic pollution in the ocean, especially because of their impact, mainly to sharks, sea turtle, marine mammals, seabirds, etc. And in this ALDFG, the chances to entangle is much more, about 4 times more than all other plastics. And why this ALDFG is more of concern? Because of the environmental impact, that is the ghost fishing. Once these end up in the water, they have the potential to continue fishing for several years. So, and they may catch the target organism, not only the fishes, other non-target organisms, even the endangered species, seabirds, etc., and finally lead to the mortality referred to as ghost fishing. And these are the main environment impact that many of them Sridhar sir has told. One is the main is the ghost fishing. Another one is the habitat destruction. It may entangle over the coral reefs and all. It may destruct their habitat. And navigational hazard. It may entangle on the propeller of the vessels. And mostly, and many of them may be ingested by the organism. Worldwide, roughly 52% of all sea turtles were estimated to have ingested plastic debris. That includes the ALDFG also. And one thing, another like microplastic, as Madhu sir has explained, how microplastics are coming. And over the years, when this remains in water, several whether the properties get deleted, so many microplastic will get released. And also, obviously, there is transfer of invasive species also from one place to another. Some organism attached on that the possibility is there, it may come to our waters also. So that was the environmental impact. Then there's the economic impact also. Reduced fish stock, because some of the commercially important species may also be getting entangled in this ALDFG that could not be recovered by the fishers also. And gear damage, like it may get entangled on the vessel or some other fishing net. So it is a damage to the fisherman, and there will be repair, replacement cost, etc. Obviously, they will obstruct the fishing ground and reduces their efficiency also. And also social impact also there, like if it is lying on the sea beaches and all that will affect the local fishing and tourism also. And habitat destruction, deplete the fish stocks, and threat to marine conservation, like it traps and kills many of this marine species. And food security, finally may deplete the fish stock also, reducing the seafood availability. So coming to our Indian scenario, the amount of fishing net or the length of the fishing net, what we are using, it is going on increasing. We don't have any limit on the quantity of nets on board we are using. There is no limit. So it is extending. Earlier it is a few kilometers, now it comes to 20-25 kilometers. So the more the time the net remains in the water, more the chances of losing and more the chances of ghost fishing. So we need careful consideration in this regard. And there is a review report recently, they have studied the entanglement in ALDFG in 2012 to 2023 in India. And they have found that over the years, it is increasing around 18 cases, like in annually, it is going on increasing. And they have calculated the type of organism that include the marine, freshwater, terrestrial also from ALDFG, and found that in that marine waters, it is more impacted, and in that more is by sea turtles, followed by the marine mammals. So there are several reports from different parts of the country, like some trapped in washed ashore in some sea, like they have retrieved the nets through diving. Several small here and there reports are there. In one example regarding the recycling of this plastics, like in Kerala, there was a project called Sujitha Swagaram project in Kerala, that is fishing for plastic from the sea. This is the fishermen themselves, they collected not only the fishing plastic, all the plastics, whatever they see, they collect. They have given some collection bags, some incentives. They used to bring it back. And this program has been done with the help of Harbour Engineering Department, Fisheries Department, State Sujitha Mission, like that. So, and after bringing that, the ladies engaged in shredding those, sorting, shredding, and finally that has been used for road making. And as we have, we know what are the main impacts and all, what we can do. Better to prevent than cure. Best preventive measures, one, to prevent the loss from the fishermen's side. If they are having some offshore collection facility for for damaged gear, definitely can bring back those damaged gear and then deposit over the beach. And also we can discourage them to use damaged net. There are several BA standards are there for fishing net materials. So better to use those standard quality material. So reduction in fishing effort. That means the quantity of net they are taking on board can be, there should be some limit on that. And also the time they can put, they can also reduce. And okay, once it happened, what are the mitigation measures? So if, as Arun sir said, like we have tags, gear marks to report the lost fishing gears. By another thing is plastic free gear, like use of biodegradable material for the fishing net, either complete net or net parts. And some, as the Kerala example, we can have some incentive based litter collection from fishers. Fishers have the tendency something monetary benefit, then only they will bring back those plastic things and all. We can start something like that. And also recycling options and awareness program and Sujita Sagaran, like that. And what we do as institute, we have conducted a study during 17-18 in ALDFG in Indian water, and we have seen that it was carried in 4 states in India, and around 25% of the what gear they are carrying on board were lost into the water. That is related to gillnet and trampoline. And we have a project also. In that we conducted diving and all in inane coast of Tamil Nadu, and we have retrieved about 33 kg of lost gillnets, traps, and lines. And these are some of the pictures of that. And these are some of our research outputs, like the retrieval of this ALDFG, and through different methods, through diving, through trawl surveys, etc. And also we try to find out what is the ghost fishing capacity once it remains in water, how long it can continue. So it may be varying in different ecosystem, but in experimental study we have found how long it can continue to fish. And also the in fishing sector of Kerala, based on surveys among fishers, the reports are there, like about 160 kg fishing nets are lost per vessel per year. And also, not only this data, along with that, we are trying to involved in the retrieval of marine litter from sea, and also recycling of FRP debris, because not only the ALDFG, the abandoned fishing boat that are lying in the beaches, that are also microplastic, everything they are releasing, and it is over the years it is increasing. So it has become a main marine litter issue. So we were trying to find out what is the alternate way, and we have started process for recycling of FRP debris, and we have found successful also. And also we have been collaborating with the NGOs like Planet Earth, and with the help of fishermen for the collection of marine debris and recycling them into that marine plastic. And this is what we have done, like in the abandoned FRP plastic was lying in the beaches. Fishermen sometimes maybe burning this abandoned boat also. So better we had collected them and shredding everything in different process. This has been converted into an upcycled product, like different pots at all. And now we are looking how this ALDFG in beaches can be converted into textiles, because in higher quality products. That research is now we have started. And as final slide, I would like to say, better to reduce this happening of ALDFG. If it happens, better to report and retrieve it back. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sandhya. It's really nice to see that we are able to not just save the ocean by removing stuff, but also put it to use, and now to bring the final benefit of what is being done to the fisher community as well. Not so long back, I'd gone on a disastrous flamingo watching trip to Pulicat with my family. But one thing I did notice was the person who was manning the boat constantly kept pulling the nets that were entangling in his propeller. And usually I've seen them throwing out.
Yeah.
Collecting all of it. Apparently, there is an organization there who's collecting all of this. Would be a great source, not just of marine debris, but there would be a great source of data as well.
Yeah.
And as regards upcycling is concerned, I've already discussed this in depth with Madhu sir, as to what can be done. And we are setting up something called community reefs for fishermen who go out for a few hours and come back. Not the big guys who go out for 5, 6 days. So these guys don't even have ice. They go at a certain time, they're back in 4 hours, and there has been a demand from people who pay more for this kind of fish rather than buying from supermarkets. So that is a channel we have not very successfully done, but that is something that we are exploring. And the first community artificial reef that we want to set up is at a village near Varkala. And Vice Admiral Swaminathan, who used to head the INS Vikramaditya, the aircraft carrier, I think is right now in Kochi as the commandant. And he has expressed they will support for setting up. They've assisted us in deep sea cleanups and all that before. And the Navy, based in Kochi, is very interested in working with the local fishermen and local economy. So let me see if the next time we are doing something like that, if we can put all of you together and do something useful with it. Thank you so much. It's a very informative.
Sure, sure, sir.
Thank you. Vadhu sir,
Yeah.
up to you.
Yes. Now the next speaker, Sri Shravan Kumar Sharma, scientist, ICAR CIFT from Mumbai Research Center. You kindly introduce yourself. Sorry, I don't have your file with me. The topic is turning the tide on plastic waste, global progress towards a circular
Sir, I
economy.
just send his introduction to you.
For the next 5 minutes. Yeah, I think I missed or something has happened.
Madhugar, I just send his introduction to you.
Okay. Yes. Mr. Shravan Kumar Sharma is a committed scientist currently positioned at the Mumbai Research Center of the ICAR, Central Institute of Fisheries Technology. With over 9 years of specialized experience in fisheries and fishing technology, he has made notable contributions to research and innovation in the sector. His scholarly output includes more than 20 research papers in reputed national and international journals, 3 chapters, and 25 popular science articles reflecting his dedication to scientific communication and outreach. Presently, Sri Sharma is at the forefront of cutting edge research in the development of biodegradable fishing nets, marine litter recycling technologies, and alternate fuel and energy systems aimed at promoting sustainability in the fisheries sector. Thank you, sir. Please carry on now for the next 5 minutes.
Good evening, all. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Shravan, you are audible.
Yes.
Yes.
My slides visible, na?
Very much, very much. Shravan, proceed.
Okay, sir. Respected guests, distinguished members of Rotary Club Visakhapatnam and Eco Action Club, esteemed scientists and passionate environmentalists, and dear friends joining us from across the globe, a very warm and heartfelt good evening to one and all. Myself, Shravan Sharma, I am a scientist at the Mumbai Research Center CIFT. My topic of presentation is turning a tide of plastic waste, global progress towards circular economy. Uh, Already Siddharth sir and Sandhya madam has detailed about the type of plastics, source of plastics, microplastics and all. And from our center, Mumbai center, we are working on two projects, that is biodegradable fishing net development and recycling of marine waste, marine debris. So I will focus on these two aspects. And for my presentation, table contents like introduction, source and types of plastics that already explained by Siddharth sir. Impacts of marine life and humans already explained by Madhu sir, and what can be done that I will focus and discussions. Now, as we know, almost 8 million tons of plastics entering the oceans every year. That is from all the sources, from domestic sources, marine plastics like fishing nets, plastic needles, all accumulating on this, and collectively they can contribute up to 8 million tons of plastics every year. It is about a data. And if you should see the ALDFG, which is abandoned, lost, discarded fishing gears by countries, what they have studied from out of 1 to 30, in left side you can see red side means red, Australia, USA. They have worked a lot for ALDFG citations and have data, but in our country the study is very less and no actual data for especially India, how much marine debris or how much fishing nets convert into ALDFG or ghost nets. And in this figure, you can see that in pie chart, what is means that ALDFG, what they are doing means they can convert into ghost fishings, or 15% converting into ghost fishings, risk to endangered species, almost 18% risk to people, almost 8%, obstruction to navigation, almost 8%, obstruction to fishing, it is 7.1%, lost fishing revenue is almost 9.3%. Only one point that is on positive side, that is enhanced fishing. Like sometimes the ghost nets uh, can act as a FAD sometimes. For that, it is only 1.4% only. Rest in negative side is 18, almost 18% is habitat damage. As already Siddharth had told that by 2050, number of amount of plastics is more as compared to fishes. And same time, we can say that by 2030, number of the amount of plastics that is coming to the sea is almost double as of 2020. And also plastics, mismanaged waste, especially from the domestic or beachside or fishing nets, maritime activities, littering on beaches, and some microplastic mainly from the single-use plastics, textile fibers, and wear and tear of our fishing nets. And we can see that almost among all the type of fishing nets, traps, gill nets are contributing more as compared to other fishing nets. The passive fishing nets are more dangerous means in terms of ALDFG and ghost nets as compared to persins, trawls. And classification wise, microplastics, nanoplastics, derelict fishing gears, single-use plastics. Actually, most issue is from a single-use plastics, mainly from the beach area. The if we have classified the fishing marine debris, there are many agencies like NOAA, then OSPAR have guidelines how to classify the fishing, how to classify the marine debris along the coast. The main destructions in especially in India is the single-use plastics, mainly contributing from the beaches area. Now, microplastic and nanoplastic, already explained about their sizes and their how they are impacting to humans, how they are impacting to fishes, planktons, birds, how they are entering into the food webs. Already explained by Siddharth sir. So we are going for the directly to the daily fishing gears and single-use plastics. And for impact of marine life, and these animals sometimes, most of times, mistakenly took plastic as a food, as they and engulf in that plastic fishing nets, and acts as the fishing ghost nets. And these plastic fishing nets are normally made of plastics like PE, PP, HDPE, and their shelf life is of almost more than 500 years. And that is the main reason for becoming ghost nets. Wait, sir. Just a minute. And for impact of human life, we can say microplastic have some good have found in seafood, salts, drinking water, potential health risks, and economic impact of tourism and fishing and marine industries. And for selection of these plastics, there are two major types of things we can do. That is, instead of using this plastic nets or fishing nets, we can use biodegradable fishing nets. Now, first to reduce the single-use plastics, switch to usable alternative in daily life. Second is to participate in beach and cleanup, ocean cleanups to remove the plastics. And for that, we have done something to like we have collected some ghost nets from through scuba diving, troll operations, and through shoreline survey as per the NOVA and OSPAR guidelines. We have collected, then segregated, and then recycled it. And other option is sustainable products like say no to plastic straws, cutlery, especially in the beach area. Raise awareness in your community and educate others about the impact of plastic pollutions. Promote use of spiral fishing nets. Prevent plastic-based fishing gears and from becoming marine debris. Support initiatives that convert marine litter into useful products. Recycle fabrics, ropes, and tiles. We have done a research in Maharashtra regions in seas, especially in the coastal areas. There are some hotspots of these ALDFG and ghost nets because of varies formation in the sea. Fishermen also knows which area having a lot of plastics, which area have nets. That depends on their experience. Through their experience, we have through questionnaire we have collected the locations. Then we have went there for scuba diving, and we have collected a good amount of fishing nets as ghost nets, and then we collected and recycled it. We are also making a database for the locations. What are the hotspots for ALDFG and GhostNet so that the department, so that specific state governments or agencies can target those specific points or locations for collection and retrievals of fishing nets. Because it is not possible to collect or retrieve all along the coast. We have to find the particular locations which are the hotspots. Then only we can target. After collection of that fishing nets, we have shredded it and cleaning, then canal processing. Then we can add some second level or third level because second level plastics, because what we are getting from the marine debris, it is actually uh, third to fourth level of degraded plastics. The strength wise is very weak. It is not possible to convert into any useful item. So that we have used second level virgin plastics, third level virgin plastics into the that what we have got, and we have fabricated three items. Like first we have got action figures, sharpeners, horseshoe, and we have make economics out of that. And what uh, and you can see what are the plastic rivers through plastic. It is not for only the fishing nets, it is all about all the marine debris. If we have good number of rubbers, we can go for action figures. This is not the final product. Actually, what we have molds that have made the that from that we have made these items. And we can you make many things, and not only toys, many things. But we have only thing is that our product is not so much strength. That's why we have to use or add some second or third level of virgin plastics. And and we can use in market also. Because of that, through this only the circular economy concept will be fulfilled, because no any company is interested simply collecting or segregating the marine debris. This work we have done in Mumbai through NGO like Plastic Economy Foundation in Mumbai. They have through we have targeted to develop a system with the help of State Fisheries Department, that fishermen can collect fishing nets, and they can get payment based on some kgs, like 5 rupees, 7 rupees per kg, and through them there's some stations, like each jetty have some station, like major jetty, especially because in Maharashtra is almost 173 small jetties are there, and we have targeted 7 to 10 jetties that can be converted into hubs of that plastic debris collections, and through that NGO, that segregations, collections, and cleaning, that converted into some useful products, and that can be introduced into the market. Then only the circular economy concept will be completed. Second thing is, we have one project of development of biodegradable fishing nets. For that, we have used regenerated viscose regenerated cellulose for development of biodegradable yarns, and we have got the sufficient and even more strength as compared to the existing nylon one. The only thing is that the biodegradation is little bit higher, and for that, reducing that biodegradation process, we are using hydrophobic coating for the that yarn, and we have made gill nets, cast nets, traps, and we are also targeting FADs, especially for the reservoir fishery, where the trenches are very deep and we are not able to catch the stocked species. And for strength, for studying the strength in the different parameters, like different conditions like pH, different pH conditions, salinity conditions, temperature conditions, we have done indoor studies and outdoor studies, especially in the reservoir area and uh, creek area. And it is the FAD design that we have made for our biodegradable FAD, fish aggregating device, especially for the reservoir. And we have got some good result in biodegradable fishing net, and also the recycled fishing nets. In conclusion, we can say that first is collection of marine debris from coast and sea is very important. Second is recycling of marine plastics, because banning is not the only option. We have to go for recycling, and for recycling, we have to identify the hotspots. And third one is use of biodegradable fishing nets, and fishing nets, especially for the, since it is initial stage, we are targeting only traps, fishing gill nets, because I already said that in ALDFG the major contribution for the passing from the passive fishing gears, and we have to enforce the introduction of extended producer responsibility, and everyone has a role to play in creating a cleaner and healthier oceans. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shravan. It is very refreshing to see words like economy coming into environment, because they've always been treated as two alien concepts. And yeah, being from Mumbai, through Mumbai, but connected commerce and environment. So yeah, that is what makes sense to a lot of us. Ultimately, there is, apart from being good and doing good for the environment and the world and all that, there is also personal, familial, and community sustenance that comes into place. And it is very important that we connect these two aspects. And thank you so much for your presentation in this regard. Madhu sir?
Yes. The last speaker of the day is Dr. Chinnadurai S. from Viraval, Gujarat. His topic is ghost net retrieval along the coastal waters of Saurashtra coast. Unfortunately, I think he is not come since he is on leave. I request Dr. Sridhar to put up this presentation or say a few words.
Actually, good evening, everyone. Dr. Chinnadurai basically was prepared for 6th. When it is postponed, he had already booked his tickets for a LTC, so he is not able in a position to present. But I would like to just tell that his presentation that it's almost on the same lines of what we have presented. But he is also extensively working on the plastic teachers along the Gujarat coast. And Arun would be very happy to know that he himself is a diver. So he has been diving in those areas and retrieving the, a lot of plastic from the ocean. So let me, I think, can you see his presentation?
No.
Yeah, just a minute, I'm sharing it. Can you see, sir?
Not yet. Yes.
Now you can see.
Yeah.
So it's almost on the same line. So I don't want to be repetitive of what he wants to speak. This is the overview of the global marine plastic, which I think all of us have already talked. Then consequences of ghost netting, mostly food security, marine ecosystems, livelihood, and plastic pollutions. And status of marine diversity in India, marine biodiversity contribution. He says India has a very significant role in global marine biodiversity and over 17,800 marine fauna species in Indian waters. So we have what he wants to say is we have a rich biodiversity and equally in the freshwater systems. That's one more unique. And he has shown a slide where he has spatially distribution of entangled cases recorded in India. You can see here in this particular graph. And percentage of entangled animal group and habitat group. When you see habitat group, it is marine, freshwater, and terrestrial. And then you see that sea turtles are the maximum affected with marine mammals, fishes, birds, crustaceans, reptiles, and land mammals. These are all affected by the plastic and discarded gear. Entanglement cases in marine and wildlife species. Yes, shown what are the most it will be very interesting. So snakes and fishing nets, he says, then crustacean and fishing net, these are some of the top. Then ropes and fishes. So this is a chart showing the entanglement causes in marine. What are the causes by this in the various animals? And this shows the number of entanglement cases from 12 to 23. You can see it is a peak in 21 and 23 is also quite high. Then this is what he has been doing. These are some of the photographs of his work. And he also has been working along with an NGO there to retrieve the fishing gear. And he himself is involved. This is a paper article printed in the media with regarding to the efforts put by Dr. Chinnadurai in the Saurashtra coast. Thank you. Thank you, Madhugar. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Sridhar.
Thank you.
If we have any questions, I'll just open this up to those who might have questions. But basically, in conclusion, I'd like to say that Madhu sir and me have been part of many Zoom sessions, sometimes with over 200 participants. But I think the recording of this session will become a very valuable reference guide for anybody getting into marine conservation, marine pollution, or circular economy, and the welfare of coastal communities and fishers. So thank you. And from my side, being a part of the biggest in India, and if not one of the biggest in South Asia in terms of training divers and dive instructors. A lot of our dive instructors are also videographers and underwater photographers, and many of them are qualified marine engineers as well as geophysicists who delve into the region of tourism because of income and them getting to travel all over the world to carry data. So any support from my side for any of your activities is always open. Please feel free to contact me for anything you would require from the diving aspect, whether it's gathering data, recording phenomenon, collecting samples, any of that, or recording progress of projects. Dive India and Scuba Bangalore and I are always at your service. Thank you.
That is so nice of you, Arun. Actually, CIFT, as you have understood from the presentations, of, both in East Coast and West Coast, we have been working a lot on plastics and other kinds of marine pollution to protect and do a sustainable fishing. That is what our idea is. So we would be very glad to associate with you because these need to be awareness is a very important aspect. And until unless we make people aware of, like I was telling you of an example of Visakhapatnam, like Sandhya, Kerala is much more advanced and people understand there. But here, when I was talking about plastic being brought from the ocean, they were looking like at me as a madman, like who this madman is talking about bringing plastic bags from the ocean. So the awareness is a very important aspect, and I'm glad that you're volunteering to, and we would certainly see how we can work together. And about the tagging of the nets, what you talked in the discussions, a brief discussions, what you have, I would like to put a point here that India's efforts are not at all systematic, as you very well know. And even today, from Kudimadaka and Visakhapatnam, there are small boats which go on sail, not even a motor. So if that is the extent of our effort, what we have in India, going up to a level of tagging would require a Herculean effort. It will take time. But still,
Yeah, that is an occupational hazard for people like you and me being called madmen. But ultimately, everything does fall into line at some point in time. I'm in Vizag mid-August. I will coordinate with Madhu sir, and let's see if we can do. And end August, I'm in Kochi as well. So, Dr. Sandhya, feel free to send me any information you have about anything that's happening. And I look forward to meeting all of you at your place of work and my place of interest. We have a question.
Sure, you're always welcome to CFT.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So while Yasser is planning to go, my question is to Sridhar ji. In your presentation, you have mentioned these fishing nets are made up of HDP. So I was part of, and then I saw this Shravan has mentioned it is nylon. So it looks like both are being used. Can you give a number? Is it 50-50 or nylon is more?
it's a nice question you asked, but as per my understanding, HDP is marginally more than nylon being used.
Okay.
Even the ropes and other accessories are also HDP. So HDP forms a major part. And then nylon is also equally used, especially for the gill nets. There are nylon gill nets being used, and there are also HDP nets being used. So we cannot perfectly tell you that the ratio, but certainly these are the major plastics being used in fishing.
Understood. And so, just like an open dialogue, I would like to know, since you have mentioned about this microplastics and they are eaten by, this fish, right, aquatic. So how does, and is there any data, like what sort of chemicals are passed into the, human being? Is it a microplastic itself or is it a chemical which is being passed out? Which is
For this, yeah, I got your question. I got your question. For this, I think Dr. Madhu is the right. Dr. Madhu, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
No,
I have
don't
some
think
band issue.
left.
No.
Yeah, we can very well
Can you
hear
hear me?
you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's here.
Yeah, I had put in my slides also. When we talk about plastic, we have two issues. One is the basic polymer. that is the whether it is ethylene or vinyl chloride or styrene. That is one thing. Second thing is we have additives to enforce the plastic. That may be colors, flame retardants, or other substances which we add to the plastic. So when you consume the plastic, one is the monomer is affecting you, and second thing is the chemicals which we add to the plastics. This also harm you. And the research shows that when the plastic goes into the stomach, 30% more release of these chemicals happens compared to the seawater. 30 times, 30 times. So there is the effect coming both through the plastic and the additives that we add to the plastic.
We have a question from Ms. Kapitra Kanabiran.
Hi.
Arun, just I am not finished. Let me just Madhusudan ji, this you mentioned nylon is also a monomer. It's a chemically it's a chemically engineered plastic, right?
The plastic.
Yeah.
So,
Monomer means these are joined to get it. More nylon is a polyamide. It's a polyamide.
polyamide,
Means
yeah.
a
So,
polymer means polyamide.
oh,
So the chemically when you link all these things together, it forms the polymer. Like that ethylene, polyethylene we say, ethylene polymer. Polyvinyl chloride. Vinyl chloride is the monomer, it is a poly. So all these things are the polymers. So when when they're broken down to the monomers, these are the things which are harmful. And we see ethylene is not having much effect. Terephthalate also not much effect, but styrene is having more effect, and vinyl chloride also is having more effect on the human system.
okay, understood.
Shall we move on to the next
Hi.
question?
Hi, this is Kapitra. I'm based out of Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra. And over here, we are a very strong environmental lobby here. We are trying to save all our mangroves, wetlands over here. And there are a lot of organizations. I work through my initiative called OVERT. My questions are regarding number one is in terms of the indigenous knowledge of the fishermen, folkmen itself. Like, is there any work regarding how to work with them and you're trying to kind of come together working towards understanding because they have their own ancient knowledge about different areas in the ocean and the sea. So is there work going around that also?
I think you're trying to tell is about the fishing knowledge, the traditional fishing knowledge, what they have.
Yeah, I'm asking about around that.
Yeah. See, actually, that fishing knowledge, I have been monitoring from past 33 years. I've been working with fishermen, and I also worked in Mumbai. I was stationed in Sashun for quite a good number of, quite a good number of years. So what I understand is the old lot of people who had a huge traditional knowledge is not percolated down to the next generation. So earlier from Sassoon Dock, if a fisher person is sailing, just by mere look at the color of the water, he would tell what exactly the resources you will be
Yeah.
important. They were fairly, very accurate with their,
Yeah.
so they had a lot of, because they were closer to the nature. But the second generation, that is lost. That is very much lost. And now the condition is like we need gadgets to understand and the traditional. And when regarding to plastics, the traditional do not work because this has been inducted in between. Traditionally, it was all natural material like cotton being used for fishing. And so this has been inducted in between. And yeah, I think that is what I could tell about this. Maybe Arun
Okay.
can speak much better than.
I can't speak much better than you, but I will share my experience. Being a filmmaker, we have something called the International Short Film Festival, which screens in Ooty every year. There is a 20-member international jury, and I'm the chairperson of the jury. And we introduce something called, the award is called the Golden Elephant. We introduce something called the Green Elephant, which is an award for short films about the environment. In that, surprisingly, a local person from Bengal made a film about folklore and fishing and the mangroves in the local community. And in that, he's shown how uh, traditional knowledge has been passed down through legends and drama and songs and some superstition, obviously. And unfortunately, as time is going by, the knowledge and the facts have eroded, and the superstition and the myth is taking over.
Exactly.
So, more important, it's easier for you to break a coconut than actually work on the issue at hand. So, if you are interested, I could forward you that film. And there are some like-minded people working with local communities on. Right now, we are having to filter and strain local knowledge because it's gone into lore instead of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yes, I could help you with that.
So thank you so much because also here, even here filmmakers and photographers, they're trying to work with the fishermen folk, trying to understand in Navi Mumbai, I'm saying. And there's a recently made film by a documentary filmmaker. It's called Black Nets. And it's how fishermen here have stopped fishing. There's no fish left in the lakes. They are going to Mumbai only and they're buying fish from there and coming and selling here.
Yes.
So there is a lot happening around. And for me, through my initiative over, I'm trying to work with the community here. So it's like I get depth into this knowledge because for every aspect, I'm trying to understand this and trying to communicate it out. And
Do get in touch with me. Madhusa will have my contact details and all of that. I've
Sure.
lived in Breach Candy for 8 years of my life. I worked a lot with the police over there and all that. And yeah, it is the day, it is the age of reels. So with
Yeah.
the nonsense that is being made, hopefully we can make some useful reels. I also teach workshops on reel making. So do get in touch and we could do something there.
All right. Yeah.
The actual knowledge is draining off and
Yeah.
the drama and the lore and the legend is taking over meaninglessly.
Yeah. Thank you so much for reverting.
So Arun,
Yeah.
also share with me one of my teammates. We'll also want to do something on environment. As you
Sure.
mentioned, I didn't know about this festival. And I think Sridhar sir, can you share from our Ramakrishna Beach to Kalingapatnam, which area you think more ghosting nets are coming out and what is the reason?
Okay. See, basically, I'm talking right from Pudimadaka, not Rarke Beach.
Okay.
Rarke Beach is must have a tourist now, not many fishermen venture out those areas because it's already drained out. So right from Pudimadaka, but this problem of ghost fishing, ghost gear mainly is of the drifted gill nets, which normally and the incidents of gill nets were huge a few years back. But now that most of these artisanal fishermen are targeting tunas, so it is only lines. So that has come down. But these gill nets are mainly in Pedajalaripeta, Veemli, and down, where a traditional village without a landing station like trawlers cannot come. So these are the artisanal fishermen who are used to using gill nets. So these areas, there is a lot of discarded gear, and there is a lot of gill nets being drifted out due to, that Vizag coast is having a very heavy current. So drifted out and they lose their gear and they never put any effort in getting it back. So these are the pockets, mainly Pudimadaka, Pedda Jalaripeta, Veemli and down.
Okay. Kalingapatnam also you feel there would be there?
No, Kalingapatnam again has a small harbor, so there are trawlers there. So
Okay.
their artisanal activities are not set. Even trawlers are, when a trawl net gets entangled in a obstruction, you lose the entire net, and that can be a ghost net. But that is not very frequent as a gill net. That is not very frequent, but it also happens. All these trawlers, when they're repairing nets out at sea, they cut a patch and throw it into the ocean and repair it and again start fishing. So they don't come to the shore to do all these mending activities. And I've been requesting these people to bring back the patches to the shore and discard them in bins rather than throwing out at sea.
So no, why I raise this question is somebody in the presentation said that plastic is bad because it is life is 500 years, right? Because without, but I feel it is a wrong concept. plastic is a very good innovation, right? It is only that we people are not throwing it. That is the problem. It is not plastic as a problem, and we can debate about it. It is marine is having this problem, but I think if the fisherman himself knows that he should not throw it or put it in the sea, he brings it back and works with any recycler. Like I am myself a recycler in Delhi, and I'm happy to put a project in Visakhapatnam. That is my native land. I used to study in St. Aloysius, so but
Oh,
the problem, so I'm happy to to collaborate with Arun, come up with some very dynamic way, collaborate with fishermen, and then do some project, because I used to study there and my personal interest is there in that place.
I'm
Great.
glad that you're
It's
from
nice
St.
to hear
Aloysius.
that because I also have a deep connection. My dad is from Andhra University, Visakhapatnam. He's a basketball player for the university and all of that. And
Wow.
the thing is, awareness is not such a big issue. Incentivization is. So, Shiv, if you could come up with an incentivizing plan for fishermen to give plastic collected or nets collected to us, by which they have something to gain. Because there, this thing is the trawlers are earning crores, and we are here artisanal fishermen. Why are we picking up their trash, and what is in it for us? Ultimately, you're making us do the trash carrying for the big money guys. So we need to incentivize. We should come up with a plan. So I'd be happy to work with you on that.
Perfect.
Shivji, one more thing I wanted. I'm very happy that you are from St. Aloysius. And one of our speakers, Dr. Madhusudan Rao, is also from St. Aloysius.
Acha.
Then secondly, plastic is not bad. See, this there has been a lot of debate. It is like Arun rightly said, it went into the wrong hands, like monkey, and he told a very good story about it's the way we use it. It's just the way we take advantage of plastic rather than so awareness becomes a very important role. And yeah, a lot of awareness needs to be created how we can take. There has been a huge debate with regarding to trawling also as a practice of fishing. Trawling is the method which has made fishing a practice to an industry. So now we can't go back. Everyone is talking about many of the countries are talking about plastic ban and trawling ban. But then we have to see a judicious way of using this because these are all very good innovations. But we need to again understand that the economic concerns and the ecological concerns are balanced.
To add upon
Okay.
Sridhar's
Can I
comment,
request now our President, Mr. Vinay Gandhi,
Madhu
Rotary
sir,
and Vinay Gandhi?
Madhu sir, 1 second. I think Dr. Sandhya wanted to conclude.
I just like
Yeah,
Sridhar sir
yeah.
said, because awareness is the main thing. Because when we went for this ghost gear retrieval in Inayam Coast, Tamil Nadu, initially fishermen were not ready to accept that such things are happening in this lost nets. They were telling some piece here and there what will be happening, but by showing them the real pictures and all, even we made them to dive and see how this nets are entangling on those coral structures and all. And also we made experiment, like we kept a trap for several even for months. So once that trap is lost, some fishes are coming, some others are coming to eat them, and that cycle continues. So when they visually saw this such type of things are happening, then gradually they came to know that yes, such things are happening. After that only they will come for this type of solution. And also like incentives, because without anything because anyway it is a waste for them to bring back all this plastic, and a space is a constraint also. So until and unless we make them assure that if you are bringing some things back like this, we are getting some money, then only they will bring, because otherwise they won't definitely they won't do that.
So fortunately, I have just after 5 years of working in the recycling industry, I have been
Yeah.
looking at developing an product which is only on incentivizing, but more on the citizen level.
Rotary and Vinay?
So please, we'll discuss. Sridharji will discuss about this and take it forward.
Okay, sure, Shivaji.
Madhu sir,
Yeah. Yeah, you may
calling
give
the
your final comments and close it out. I think time is up for this.
Yes, sir. Calling the captain to final closure.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I'm actually not in town and out of my network also, so I could not join. I joined late, but I have been listening all your conversation. And thank you so much, all the speakers, for taking out time for on this day to speak about marine pollution and how to protect the oceans and all. So I have been listening and I've been understanding the various problems and also the solutions, probable solutions. So thank you so much. And Arunjit, thank you so much for moderating. And Madhu Garu, and he's the one who is actually the man behind the show. I know because this is completely his effort and his thing. So thank you, Madhu Garu, also for and all the participants have joined and all the speakers again. Once again, I thank you so much for this wonderful session.
A pleasure. Madhu, sir? Okay, for those of you who don't know, this is Rotarian Vinay Gandhi, the president of the Visakhapatnam Rotary Club. Nobody was there to introduce him. He's the boss of the session, technically. I think Madhu sir has lost network.
Yeah, he has lost his network.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll wrap it for now. And I look forward to hearing back from all of you and meeting. I have only 2 trips planned in August. One is Visakhapatnam and one is Kochi and Varkala. So look forward to meeting you all. And I will share a recording of this session for the benefit of everyone else who wants to do good and is mostly misled. So thank you so much and good night, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I left my number on the chat box. So anyone interested will be very happy. CIFT as a whole institution will be very happy to work with you all for a cleaner ocean and a better marine life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Arun. Can you please share your number on the chat? Because then I don't know how to reach out. I'm not even part of the club.
Thank you, everyone.
To
Happy
find the
to
devil
hear
at the
from
end of
all
the
of
number,
you.
that would be me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sridhar sir, for connecting me with these people.
Sandhya, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, all of you.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Thank
Good night.
you.